Good afternoon and welcome to our Live at Lunch series. We are excited to be in our third installment of 4 broadcasts talking about the Walk to End Lupus now and our local prize pickup incentive drive-thrus that we're doing in each city. And we are so incredibly blessed to have walk chairs across the state who've been willing to work with us as we work around this pesky virus, the coronavirus that we've had to deal with. And it's our mission to keep all of our lupus community safe during this time, but also give us an opportunity to interface with you, to come out and meet you. And thank you for all you're doing. And we feel it's so important to get into the community. And we've had just great feedback on it. We went to Columbus last Saturday, and that was absolutely fantastic. A beautiful day down there. People came down, they decorated their cars. We did an amazing car parade. They dropped off food for the brown bag food pantry down in Columbus. Good day just all around. A lot of good sense of community and just all of us in this together. So we appreciate all of our folks, and we look forward to coming to Atlanta on October 10th. So that's what we're here to talk about today. And as usual, I would like to introduce our moderator extraordinaire, Karen Jordan, who is been a long time volunteer. And Karen, just once again, just tell people about yourself and your involvement.
Absolutely. I got involved with the Lupus Foundation and became a walker in 2013. It was the loss of a friend, of a very good friend, Lisa Singaphone, our sunshine. And she wanted to do the walk, but did not get the opportunity as lupus was, a considerable burden and ultimately involved with her passing. So we, as friends and her family, decided to put a team together, 50 Shades of Awesome, and walk in her honor. And we have done so every year since then. I'm very proud and very excited to say that our team has raised over $90,000 in these last years. Yes, that's an amazing thing. Mm-hmm. And I am, every year I get more and more involved with the Lupus Foundation because I'm so overwhelmed with all of the work, the incredible work that the Lupus Foundation does. It's very intimate with the lupus warriors, the lupus community that it serves. It's not just, research and, you don't touch the people and help them through. You do it. You're there every day with them, helping them find the advocating, the work that you do with politics, of course, research funding, but really helping them find doctors and getting them involved with other people for support, the support groups. It's absolutely amazing. So that's where I come in, and I want to see how I can help and make it better and improve things. And so here's where we are. And so we have Walk Wednesday, where walkers can get more involved and see a little bit more intimately what's going on behind the scenes with the Lupus Foundation. And today, of course, we're talking with the walk chairs. And we've done this series for the last couple of weeks, and we still got another week to go, and very, very excited to get to October 16th and have the celebration for all the work that everyone has done all year long, continuously for so many people. And I'm just amazed. The ladies that are the walk chairs here that we've met and talked with, it's outstanding. So I'm very excited about this.
They are outstanding. And I think a key part to our growth this year, Karen, was bringing you into the mix of this. And you brought a lot of great ideas, and of course this Walk Wednesday, and we really appreciate you. You're not a walk chair, but you become part of our whole essential walk planning committee, and we appreciate your commitment and how much you've stepped up. And I think really stepping up is the key word, because during this pandemic, it is it's a challenge. It's a challenge for people living with lupus. It's a challenge for the community at large. But we've had so many people step up. And people hear me say all this all the time. We're all in this together, and teamwork makes the dream work. Those aren't just platitudes. we need teamwork, and we need to be in this together, and we need to be single-minded about our mission to, we want to walk towards the end of lupus. We want to stop lupus, and that's where we want to go. And until then, we want to provide people with a care and support team through our various projects that we do. And this funding allows us to do that while we're supporting the research efforts of the national organization. So we're grateful to our volunteers. We're grateful to our sponsors, to our donors, our walkers, to everybody who has really kept us, still standing in this COVID environment. And we truly couldn't do it without you. And with these walk chairs that we have, they have helped us facilitate these in-person drive-throughs and celebrations on a local level, where we're going into the local communities and letting them know that what they do means a lot to us. So we're grateful to them. So I'm going to step away here and let you introduce the walk chairs and do what you do so well. So you enjoy your conversation. Karen, thank you again for doing this. You are just a gem. You're a gem, and we're so grateful for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, ladies. How are you today?
Doing well.
Good.
Thank
How are
you.
you?
Awesome. Well, here we have Delisha, Lisa Smith with us, and Lori Randolph. They are the Atlanta walk chairs. And yes, we need two to cover the Atlanta walk, which is amazing and huge. Things look a lot different now with COVID. So, but before we start getting into the actual walk itself, I just want to, we do this because we really want to know who's managing this, who's the lovely ladies behind this that help make these walks possible. And it's the walk chairs, of course. And you two partner up and you get things done so that we can have some incredible events, though they are very different. So, Delisha, I want to start with you. So I always have to ask, do you have lupus yourself?
Yes, ma'am. I do.
And how did you come to find out that you had it? I want to hear the story behind that.
Well, my mom actually was diagnosed when we lived in Europe. So when she passed away at the age of 39 from complications, all my life I got tested, and no lupus. Every year I got tested. Lupus wasn't there. Had unfortunate miscarriage, and that's when lupus showed up. And that's been an 18-year journey.
Wow. That's definitely a long time to live with it, and some extremely unfortunate circumstances coming, to your diagnosis. You mentioned, the testing year over year. And there's a statistic in regards to lupus that it takes 6 years on average to come to a diagnosis. You have a family history. And even though you were testing, it still didn't show up. We call it the mysterious illness. And that this is like a prime example, it's kind of one of those things you kind of knew or suspected that it was definitely there, but no matter what, it's hiding. And then, of course, at the most unfortunate time, it rears its head.
Yes.
So you mentioned Europe. That's pretty interesting. You live in Atlanta now, right?
Yes.
How Europe? Were you born in Europe? Are you European?
No.
Okay.
No, my stepdad was, we were stationed in Germany when my mom found out. Well, it was misdiagnosed. They didn't quite know what it was when we were in Germany. Yeah. So she didn't actually find out it was lupus until we came back to the States.
I gotcha. Yeah, that's definitely mimicking other illnesses,
Correct.
the symptomology looking like something else.
Yes.
Again, something very, very common that lupus warriors deal with. And it makes it very difficult to simply get a diagnosis, the proper diagnosis that it is lupus. And this is, a huge challenge that the lupus community faces. So, but thank you so much for sharing that. I know it's been a while, but I'm sure it's never easy to talk about it. And Lori, for you also have lupus, right?
Yes.
And how did you find out? How did you come to your diagnosis?
I actually had spots on my forehead and I thought they were just acne. So I went to the doctor and they did some biopsies and I found out I had sarcoidosis
Oh,
from my
wow.
skin. And so they immediately put me through a bunch of other tests. And that's kind of how we found out about it. And then, of course, as time went on, different things showed up, different autoimmune problems. And here I am now.
Wow. And how long ago was it that you found out?
It was about 2008.
Jeez. Okay. Yeah. So a lot of years under your belt as well, living with this. How do you manage lupus and the other things that you do in life? Does it, hold you back from doing the things that you really want to do?
No, one of my models is keep on moving.
There you go. That is definitely to all the walkers. Keep moving, keep on moving, no matter. That's great, Lori. Thank you so much for sharing that. And so you both live with lupus. And how did you come to getting involved with the Lupus Foundation and getting involved, Delisha?
Well, of course, when you first find out that you're dealing with an autoimmune system type of illness, you feel like you're dealing with it on your own and you don't really have anywhere to turn. And so I felt that I was by myself and I kept saying, this can't be right. I got to reach out and find some people. And so that's what I did. I started doing research. I found the Lupus Foundation. I got involved with the first walk, helping with check-in, and the family and the relationship started from there.
Wow. So when you found out, so this is 18 years ago, you immediately turned to the Lupus Foundation?
Oh, no, not immediately. I was in denial for a minute. When I found out I had lupus, I was like, nope, I don't have lupus. So it took a minute for it to set in because I was on so many medications. I wasn't able to be involved or to reach out to the chapter at that time because I was so weak. I couldn't wear shoes. My feet were swollen. I had really bad kidney problems. So I couldn't really get involved at that time. But once I got to a healing point where I could help someone else that's dealing with it, that's when I finally said, I got to find an outlet where I can be a blessing to someone else that's going through something similar.
Right. So when was that? When did you first get involved with Lupus, Georgia?
I think the very first time I kind of just reached out to donate.
Yeah.
Before I actually put myself out there to be like an advocate or to be like, okay, I want to help. I want to get involved. So I did give. I started my own little team. And I was like, okay, before I was like, I just want to raise money to not only bring memory and support of my mom, but also to support me. And And so that's how the whole process started. I can't even remember the very first year. Sorry for the brain freeze right now. But
no, it's okay. I understand. A
but,
long time though. You've
yeah.
been at this for a while, for sure. That's incredible. And Lori, what about you? How'd you first get involved with the Lupus Foundation?
I went to the Atlanta Home Show, and we had a booth there, and I met Becky Deutsch, who's one of our board members.
Yeah.
And I talked to her about lupus, and I also told her that I had spent many, many years and retired from another nonprofit, and I was very familiar with doing walks and nonprofit work. And so the next day I received a call from the CEO at that time, and I went in and talked to her, and then I started volunteering immediately after that. And the rest is kind of history.
There you go. You remember when that was? What
that
year?
was in 2009.
Wow. Okay. So it was still relatively soon after you found out about your diagnosis. That's incredible. That desire to make sure that no one goes through the things that you go through, the denial, the loneliness, those are common things that I hear. I get to speak to a lot of people that are living with lupus and their family, and it's the same types of things that I hear. How they came to it is always different, but the feeling and the sentiment of loneliness and denial of it is very common. It's very common, and wanting to be surrounded by people who get it and understand it is so incredibly important. And that's a huge function of the Lupus Foundation of Georgia, and why we all work so hard in raising awareness and advocating and fundraising is to ensure that these programs are available so people are not alone. And they can come to terms and get through it and live life. Like you said, Lori, keep moving, right? Keep moving forward, as a matter of fact. So I think that's absolutely incredible. So how did you guys get together and become walk chairs? And how do you, which I'm sure you certainly do, divide and conquer this Atlanta walk, which is, I don't even know. I don't even know the numbers. It's such a amazing number of course, pre-COVID. So what does that look like? Lisa, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was like,
no, go ahead.
Where do I start? I think with me and Lori, we both started off working, volunteering, doing check-in. So our process, how we started out at check-in and just learning everyone's faces, dealing with people, because when people first get to the walk, they want to check in. They feel they need to check in. Right. And we were the first people they would see once they got there, just trying to turn in money, trying to let everybody know I'm almost there. I can get my medal. I can get. So they was like, I'm 100 short. But they so our process started working, volunteering at check-in, and then we graduated from being over check-in to being walk chairs together.
That's awesome. That's definitely that's a huge thing. When people come in, they need that warm, friendly face. I remember, oh my gosh, it's so overwhelming if you've never been to a walk and you come into this and it seems so chaotic, but it's so very well organized and everything just flows like clockwork. And you can ask anybody, and it's, go here to do this, go there to do that. And you mentioned the one of the incentives, the medal, the coveted medals, when you fundraise, and raising that $100, to get the T-shirt, which are unique every year. It really gives you a sense of pride, because it's your mark on history that you helped in something that matters so much. It's absolutely incredible. And Lori, so can you share with us, like, what's your part in being the walk chair? What do you focus your attention on in making sure that the Atlanta walk happens?
When Lisa and I first started out, part of what Lisa said was making sure that we're the first spaces everybody meets. We help them get established what the walk is happening, where to go, where to find things. And then year after year, we would have people come back and we remember us and say, hey, Lisa, hey, Lori, what do I do about this? And so year after year, we've become familiar with a lot of the people that come to the walk and basically kind of become a family.
Absolutely.
And I think just getting to know people, understanding their problems, their mission, and as far as getting the Atlanta walk going, it's a constant thing. It's year round. It's not just the day of the walk. There's so much behind the scenes work that goes in.
Yeah.
And like I said, just keep on moving forward with the walk.
Yeah. The planning part is, I know that's a huge thing, and it definitely takes a while. I personally know that you guys start right after the current walk to get ready for the next one. So it's a really, really big job. So outside of the walk, because there's so much that of yourselves that you put into being the walk chairs, how do you manage other things, work, family? What does that look like for you guys? Lisa, why don't you go ahead and start?
Okay. Well, I have a full-time job, and sometimes I have a part-time job, and then trying to juggle the part-time, the full-time, being very diligent on volunteering with the foundation. It can be a lot to juggle. It definitely can be, but I think for me, it's more of the joy that it brings, the peace of seeing others smile, seeing once we get to the walk, just telling them how we welcome them. We think they're beautiful. Thank you for coming. When you just wrap your head around all of that and the joy that you see in their eyes when they come out, it kind of like, it makes it all worth it. Because it's, juggling everything that's important to you is a process. It is, especially living with lupus and the fatigue and the amount of energy it takes having lupus, and then being able to volunteer and be out there in the sun and still pushing through. It can be a challenge, but the next day you may wake up a little sore and extremely tired, but you realize it's definitely worth it. It's definitely worth it.
Absolutely. And Lori, what about you? Between your volunteer efforts, what about work and family for you? I know you mentioned retired.
Yes, I'm retired, and I have 4 grandchildren that keep me very busy. And I love each one of them dearly. And then I have 2 adult children, and I try to help them out however I can with taking care of the kids and whatever projects they're involved in.
Right. Well, definitely, I'm sure you passed along, your charitable heart to the family. So I don't think you know how not to be involved with, anything that you can be.
So true.
Yeah, but that's wonderful. Having people like that in the world makes the world a better place, for sure. And definitely so blessed to have both of you involved with, everything that goes on. So now, this past year and of course this year as well, we don't have the traditional walk, but we have the drive-through, which is coming up. So that's going to be on the 10th. And what advice, would you give people that are not involved yet, not part of, what we do here, Lisa?
You said what? Repeat the question.
Yeah,
What?
well, I said advice, but
Okay.
what would you say? What would what you've got the floor. So you
Okay.
have an opportunity for someone who isn't already involved. What would you tell them? What would you say to them?
I would say to them, getting involved just takes the effort. It just takes stepping out, and whether it's raising funds, coming out on the 10th to see for yourself. The drive-through is a wonderful experience. Last year we had a great time.
Yeah.
We had a nice turnout. We had the energy, the excitement, just to see people coming through in their cars and shaking our bells, and the people that came out felt amazing. So every little bit helps. Raising funds, just getting out, just seeing what we do. It's a start. All it takes is just for you to come out, or you just to raise funds, or just to try it.
Yeah.
It just takes the step. So
absolutely. And Lori, so there's a lot of there's some very obvious incentives, right, for being charitable. But if someone is a walker, what kinds of things can they expect that the Lupus Foundation does and puts together to give them incentive to get involved and to raise the funds and to hit those goals to raise more for the foundation?
First off, $100 will get you a t-shirt.
Yeah.
And a swag bag. But if you even donate $50, you'll also get a swag bag.
Mm-hmm.
And
Absolutely.
there's some other great incentives, which you can go to the webpage and check out the other incentives we can have. And that's just not, it's always fun to wear your t-shirt every year. The life of the t-shirt is really about 3 years. So you're advertising for the Lupus Foundation for 3 years when you wear your t-shirt.
Absolutely. That t-shirt is huge.
Yes.
It is collectible,
Yes.
for me. I love my t-shirts, and it's, like I said before, it's a representation of the commitment you made to help make the world a better place through fighting for the end of lupus. And so with the drive-through, there is also some secondary work that the foundation is doing in collecting food, do a food drive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so can you tell me more about that, the food drive? Lisa.
Well, okay. Last year, we I can't remember the name of the
Must Ministries.
Thank you. Yes. See, that's why we are partners.
Yes.
Yeah.
We set up different bins. So once you drove through, you could drop off your donations.
Yeah.
It was towards the end of the drive-through, but we're going to have the same setup this year, where when you come in through, all the food donations that you bring, just bring them with you through the drive-through and drop them off in the bins that we'll have set up at the end.
Okay.
Yes.
That is awesome. So so I want to ask, what is one of your most fondest memories? Both of you have been involved in as walkers and obviously as walk chairs for years now. What is one of your most fondest memories about being involved with the walk? Lori, go ahead.
I have many memories that were fun. Some of them were silly and some were fun. A lot of them deals with all the people we talk with and all the love we receive.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest memory. Then I remember when it was pouring down rain, thundering and lightning, and we were out there up to our ankles, loading trucks and such. And so that was fun. Everybody else had taken off, but here, Lisa and I and Terry were out there, cleaning up and taking care of stuff. And then
Yeah.
also there's always the days of setting up the walk at 6 o'clock in the morning, and we don't leave till 2 or 3, sometimes 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Our big walks are wonderful, but there is a lot of work involved in it, and we need lots of volunteers to help us make that happen.
Absolutely. You guys hear that from 6 in the morning, 4 in the afternoon, more people, less time, easier workload for everybody. So definitely, I guess that would definitely qualify as one of the more challenging parts of what you do, right? The actual physical work. And this is coming from, Lori, a retired lupus warrior, that's getting out there and doing that. And if she can do it, I
Y'all
think
can do it.
right, we can get a few more volunteers to come out and do that. There's always work to do, right? There's always things that need to be done, and I'm really very excited for you guys. So I got one last question I want to ask. What is your biggest motivation for what you do? And you can't say the same thing you said before. What's your motivation, Lisa? Go ahead.
I'm gonna be honest. I wanted lupus to stop with me. I know having it is, I know the struggles, I know everything that comes with it. So I would have to say my biggest motivation is my niece and nephew, who now both have lupus.
Oh, wow.
And so the fact that they're in middle and high school, and they truly, because it didn't stop with me.
Right.
It skipped my sister, and my niece and nephew both are dealing with complications that were worse than mine. So just trying to stay not only positive, but grounded, but they are truly my motivation.
That's incredible, Lisa. That's a huge burden to live with. But you have to know, if you can't look in the mirror and see it, let me tell you what you're doing, the things that you're doing, the dedication that you're putting in to make a difference. We call it the Walk to End Lupus Now. That's the name of it. And those walkers, we task them with advocating. We task them with raising awareness. We task them with fundraising so that we can get as close, we can move forward. Like Lori said, keep moving forward towards ending lupus. And that's got to be the best motivator right there. It's not even about you. It's about somebody else. And that's absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. And Lori, what's your motivation? What makes you do those 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. physical days, putting on the greatest show on earth?
I also have family members that have lupus or forms of lupus. And like Lisa, I really want to find a cure for this horrible disease, and hope that more of our family members are not affected.
Yeah.
My motivation for doing the walks and such is to reach out to people and spread the word. Yeah. And I think by doing our walks, whether it's drive-through, or it's our massive walk in Piedmont Park, that's awareness.
Yes.
Right.
And everybody says, "What is lupus?" And that's an instant door opener to say, "Well, let me tell you about this horrible disease."
Yes. Right. Yeah. It still amazes me how many people don't know. As in, the number, I don't have, the most current statistic, but the last number that I have is over 55,000 Georgians that are living with lupus. That's just Georgia, 55,000 people. And, anything and everything, the smallest thing that anyone can do is make a donation to the foundation. You can volunteer, it's so many things that you can do, and they can go right to lupusgeorgia.org to look it up. Now, before I close out for today, because our time was so short, do either of you have anything else that you would like to share with everyone?
I want to share that we look forward to seeing you guys on the 10th.
Yes.
Please come out, bring your cans,
Yes.
and continue to raise funds.
Yes. Yes. That's a huge one. Lori, do you have anything else to add?
I agree with Lisa. Come on out on the 10th. Even if you don't know what it's about, just come out and see us, because this is a step towards our big walk in April. So get involved now.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. There's a lot of you can make donations right at the walk. If you're uncomfortable or not sure how to donate online, you can come to the walk on the 10th. It is our Atlanta drive-through. So because of COVID-19, wanting to keep everyone safe, we're limiting our togetherness and our exposure to one another by having a drive-through. So if you have made donations and raised funds, you can get prizes from raising just as little as $50 if you're a registered walker. And if you're not registered, again, come out on the 10th. But our drive-through is designed that you can collect your incentives and your prizes, your swag bags that Lori mentioned, that got so many goodies in it. And there's definitely lots of information, brochures. If you don't know what lupus is, or maybe you want to get connected with all the different things that the Lupus Foundation does, you can come out and see us on that day. Decorate your cars, come dressed up as you would if you were going to the walk. We will be taking photos and videos. You can share your stories with us and, meet and greet the team that make everything function and go. Again, that's on the 10th. It is at 1 p.m. until 4 p.m. And it's right at the main office in Smyrna. And we are all 100% definitely waiting to see you come out. And we're very, very excited. So come out with your energy, your cowbells, like Lisa mentioned, and just bring it. It is our time to celebrate all the work that we have done all year. And we definitely deserve just a little bit of togetherness. So you guys, I really want to thank you, Lisa and Lori, your Atlanta Walk chairs, and getting to know them a little bit better. I'm Karen Jordan, and thank you so much for joining us for Walk Wednesday, and we will see you guys next week.